You see, pioneers, people have this reoccurring nightmare that there's some force that's got a hold of them, that's holding them back and holding them down, and they can't break free. They can't break the chains that bind them from that force that's holding them down and holding them back. But I'm here to tell you that that nightmare, that thing, that force that's holding you back, dragging you down, that force is you. There are two fundamental mindsets towards life and its sorrows. Those with the first mindset blame the world and everyone else. Those with the second mindset ask what they could do differently. What am I supposed to learn from my setbacks? It's much more gratifying and easier to your desires to blame someone else for your misery. But you know what's so funny? We want people to guarantee us something, but we're not willing to guarantee something to ourselves. And that's the problem with people. We want to blame other people. We owe ourselves an explanation. We got to look ourselves in the mirror each and every day and ask ourselves why we half-ass in our life. We got to put ourselves on blame, on punishment. We got to tell ourselves no more TV, no more snacks, no more being lazy. Consistent daily hard work gains success. No coach, no training yourself, no mentoring yourself, and you won't succeed. I value myself enough to give myself 100% plus each and every day, because I know there's no excuse for not living to my higher expectations. I didn't get here to where I am today to make excuses. What changed? I changed. When I stopped being a victim and became the victor, my life changed. See, I'm gonna grind. I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna work. Because it's me versus me. I'm gonna learn and teach myself and do everything in my power to reach my fullest potential each day, day in and day out, to become the victor and not a victim. Why? Because I owe it to myself. Can't nobody stop me but me. You see, what you believe in your hearts and speak in your minds will eventually become your words and your reality one day. And what you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset. And what gets ingrained in your subconscious mindset becomes an unconscious action and an unconscious activity. And I've always just wanted mine to be guideful, helpful, and nurturing to others. So I'm sending you all much love and high vibrations out to wherever you are in this matrix and galaxy. Certainly hope that you're all doing well. And I want to welcome you all to another episode of the Daily Candle Close News. Hope you're all doing well. Kick back, relax. I hope you're having a beautiful Friday Freya day. This will be a follow-up from our last video dedicated to the lunar eclipse. And, that time period we just witnessed that brought a sell-off in the markets that we prepared you for. The pioneers have been prepared for this correction for quite some time in the markets, and we've been really focused on these certain dates from November 5th, remember the 5th of November, to the 9th of November, the 7th of November, all the way up until yesterday and today, the 17th and 18th of November. So we're going to be breaking down a lot of things today and recapping what we've seen in these markets and talking about a few narratives that have been going on. And we'll talk about what the future may bring to us moving forward for cryptocurrency. I've been preparing my pioneers for a long time of what to expect after the Shemitah, which ended on September 25th, 26th, and 27th of 2022. That started the 50-year biblical jubilee, and we've started to see a lot of news and drama and volatility and theatrics being built around crypto. And this is what I've been warning people to expect. The importance of this year being the Jubilee year and being very similar to 2001 in the dot-com bubble. So what we're seeing in the economy and the cryptocurrency space, it's to be expected. So I appreciate every one of you that have been following the work. And if you're new here and you're unfamiliar with the work, we do things in a very broad, outside the box approach. We do cryptocurrency technical analysis combined with gematria, numerology, and astrology. The periodic table of elements, ancient astrological teachings from a prehistoric world, common sense, facts, figures, numbers, logic to help us understand so we can understand these markets and the way that everything works. So again, if you're new to my work, welcome here. It's so funny how hard I've worked and how many people overlook. We've had this recent event go down that I prepared my pioneers for, and I'm not here to brag or boast. Anyone that's been following my work for a while knows that's not my energy. I tend to prepare people for really important time periods and dates so far in advance where when that time period comes, people forgot about it. And there's this expectation of, be happy and throw parties because I was right. And sometimes I'm wrong. I'm not always right. But this is just me sharing something that I've been able to put together and figure out about this market that is more symbolic, exoteric, and a code that runs this market called finance. And I wanted to enlighten everyone about this information so that they can use it accordingly where they are in their investment thesis and their finances and whatever's going on in their life to better themselves. This is not financial advice at all by any means. This is just me documenting my journey. And we're in the apocalypse. And apocalypse means uncovering and unveiling, the reveal. And this is me providing my great reveal. My work is part of the apocalypse. It's part of the revealing of something that is going on and hidden from man in these markets. Because people and man have been too distracted to even notice what is going on. And if you're distracted, then you're not evolving. And all the mainstream and the apex predator needs to do is keep you distracted. That's all they have to do. So the system I'm working with here is actually quite simple. It's moon phases, new and full, looking at the numerological and number gematria connections, taking the basic astrology connections, and just putting it all together. And then finding prime numbers and the significant connections to the certain cryptocurrencies, to the mythological connections, and I've created a very quite easy system if you learn it. And what makes this system really hard is if you overcomplicate it. And what really makes it hard is adding in the technical analysis. So if you know technical analysis and you know it before you come to the symbolistic numbers and the exoteric connections in these markets, then you'll be able to thrive. And that's truly my opinion. So don't make it harder than what it really is. It's important for us to right now, in this time, to learn how to pivot and respond to this market. And that's something I've been doing in the background. I saw these initial levels back in the past come in on Bitcoin, and I really started to be able to piece things together and start looking for the next big date. And I'm working on looking for the next big date around December and January that I'll be talking about later today. And I just want to say the next couple months are still going to be opportunity for sure to take advantage of these markets and accumulate, not financial advice. That moving forward, heading into May, April, June, August time of next year, it's going to be pretty amazing for crypto, I do believe. And if you want to wind back to last year when I talked about Bitcoin on, April 5th, hitting 47,000 right before Satoshi Nakamoto's birthday, we saw that happen, and I released my exit strategy that prepared you all to de-risk at a 47,000 time period around April 5th, right here. And we see Bitcoin hit a high of $47,200. So on Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin's birthday, April 5th, we hit that 47K before we saw this downtrend for several months. So major de-risking opportunity for those that bought the exit strategy or were watching the work around this time period, and we saw this play out. So we know this means something. So heading into April of next year, we could be in a uptrend after finally setting the high or the low after our previous new all-time high that we tend to get a year or so after our previous all-time high. So very important. So we don't want to get lost in the sauce, and we want to zoom out and view this as professional traders and not follow the mainstream minutia, monotony, etc. So let's go ahead and get started talking about a lot of things. Like I said, we're going to dedicate this video to our previous eclipse that we just saw take place around 11.7 and 11.8 for cryptocurrency. Right here, we know Bitcoin, when we type that out, it gives us the 117, and this was the last lunar eclipse that we just saw that brought a sell-off in the market. So we talked about these time periods, prepared you for them. Not surprising to see them being volatile in the markets. But today is a day that we were looking out for as well. We'll be breaking that down. It's a day today that is the 322nd day of the year. So very unique, very surprising. We know that ties us into our favorite pals at Skull and Bones University, the Brotherhood of Death. It leaves 43 days left in the year, being the 14th prime number. We know Bitcoin is in its 14-year anniversary now, ever since Halloween. This is a day that adds up to 71 and 17 as well. We'll be discussing these numbers thoroughly in this video. So we're living in the current moment of 11/18, Friday, Freya Day, November 18th. So very important. This being a 7-week, 5-day time period, but from the start of Rosh Hashanah and the end of the Shemitah. We know cryptocurrency gives us that 75. So I'm paying attention to potential volatility today in the market. So especially with it being the 322nd day of the year. And when we go to crypto, we get that 75 like we talked about. Spelled this wrong. Boom. But when we talk about cryptocurrency regulation, we get that 322. And are we going to get some news today that might bring up some narratives around cryptocurrency regulations today? Of course we might get it, because look at all the things that's been going on around FTX. We could see some potential cryptocurrency regulation news and FUD to get you distracted and broken and confused right now, to get retail investors distracted and keeping them from evolve. So we know there's going to be regulations coming. There needs to be. If we go to coin market cap, we see that there's still 21,000 cryptocurrencies, and that's ridiculous. A lot of these cryptocurrencies are nonsense. A lot of it needs to just go away, like the dot-com bubble. And what's going to create that move is we need to have some sort of event like cryptocurrency regulations that would liquidate a lot of these cryptocurrency magical pixie dust to zero. And I'm still expecting you to, pay attention to this event. And look what's unfolded since this played out. Look at the nonsense that's gone down. We saw everybody wants to bring out and talk about the FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried or Freed or French Fried or whatever this guy is, and the nonsense around this. Of course, it's very scripted and very similar to the Terra Luna event that we saw and talked about, that I warned people about to de-risk before it took a hit. Around a lunar eclipse. Not surprising, Terra Luna. So very important. We know FTX is in the same situation right here past our last lunar eclipse. So, very similar to the dot-com bubble and very interesting to watch. Um, but to see some of these Dogecoin at number 8, just ridiculous, or Shiba Inu at number 13 in total market cap. Complete nonsense, you know? I don't want to take too much time on this, but the bigger decision we need to make is watching what we invest in and building our thesis around cryptocurrencies that are going to make it through these cryptocurrency regulations that we are bound to see when we get finally more clarity in the market. You know, so we know Bitcoin and ETH still hold a majority of the market cap. You know, but the stable coins are really just starting to move up into the top 5. Tether, USD, Binance, pretty much conquering half of the cryptos in the top 15. You know, which some of them, like we talked about, don't deserve to be here. So we got to pay attention to this. It's a very important time period for us to not mess around with our finance. And but let's move into some more things about today, November 18th. You know, leaving 43 days left in the year. It's a connection we've been making all year. We know the Georgia Guidestones blew up at 4:03 a.m., dropped to 0.43. The Super Bowl, it ended in a total of 43 points, 20-23, giving us the 2-2-3. You know, very important. But this is tying us into our next new moon, which is 5 days away. So possibly a positive energy coming in the markets. Who knows? But this is very important. The Brotherhood of Death. Tying us back into the transition day yesterday, being the 187th prime number. This week is going to be a weird week because this is the week that pivots us into Thanksgiving, 11/24, Thursday. And this matters a lot because this is a day off for the stock market, being closed for the day. What do you think that means for cryptocurrency? Cryptocurrency is going to be trading alone on this day. So, very important for us to pay attention to. You know, what could happen after we just witnessed this epic energy leading into the full moon that brings bearish energy and the lunar eclipse. You know, what could happen moving into Thanksgiving? I really think we're going to continue sideways and build structure and form a type of bottoming structure until December full moon and January full moon. You know, until then, I would like to see a little bit of more sideways and volatility, zigzag like we've been seeing, heading into 2023, January, February, heading into the true first month of the year, which is March. You know, giving us a reset. I'm trying to keep you all prepared. You know, April, May into June, July, August of next year, I believe it's going to be a grandiose time period and relieving time period, especially for those that bought these lows and didn't get flooded at the market and panic sale. Hold strong. You know this is just noise and theater and nonsense and pre-programmed to an algorithmic code. We know this is how this market acts every single time. So early December, early January, that's still opportunity that we may see this market peel over even more, possibly into that 14 to 12K range that we've prepared you all for quite some time. So maybe even 9,000. So recently people were calling a bottom, and I'm like, no guys, even back here when I told you a bottom can take up to a year to form. You know, we have sharp moments to the downside, but they always follow by a relief candle. And then, you know, we saw this and everybody talked about how this is the bottom, but we slowly trade into filling out these areas over time. So we still have this opportunity for wicks to the downside to go even further, setting that potential spring and structure that we've talked about. And I know that if we move this leading into early December, we could see that and see the potential final spring bottom come in before heading back up into, January, February, March, April, like we were talking about, of next year over time. We can't really compare this to C19 or this time period back here when Bitcoin was one of the only cryptos in town, when it was trading at $200 and it just went up to 69,000. This is very different. But we know what history showed. Corrections that have formed over time, grandiose, way before the stock market. It could take a stock market 1, 2, 3 years to come up out of a situation like this. So we know we've kind of been in the bottom since June, but basically, again, it takes about a year to develop. So remember that. So very important. So when people are calling bottom, they're looking at it from a very immature, unsophisticated trader kind of way. So as a technical analyst and someone with a sophisticated view on these markets, a bottom can take time. And how far could this spring go, and how long does it take to fulfill if this is a true phase C and Wyckoff reaccumulation with the spring? So something we need to pay attention to. So very important. Awesome. But we had this bull trap here around this April-May time period, double eclipse. This bull trap right after a double eclipse period, leading into that December 4th, very volatile time period that we prepared you for. Could we get another early December volatile time period like last year and other Decembers in the past have showed us before, coming right out of this Thanksgiving recovery, this V-dip recovery? Could we get this around Thanksgiving as well? Who knows? But December also bringing us a December low as well, a pullback before a continuation into the new of the year, beginning of the year. Sometimes we've seen these pullbacks come back in January as well. So the January full moon, I'm going to keep that on our mind as well moving forward. So very important. All right, let's continue to break this down even more, talk about a little bit more Bitcoin, cryptocurrency technical analysis. We know potential bullish energy could come in heading into the new moon, which is, the 23rd. Is it the 23rd or the 25th? I'm not sure if it's Friday or Wednesday. I'd have to look that up real quick, but we know it's coming up. We're a few days away, so we could get a potential push up to this 181, which was a rejection range. We're not out of the woods just yet. We still have the full moon of December, then head into Saturnalia, and that's a very ritualistic time period as well. So a lot to consider and go over moving forward. Could get this push up here, rejection from some of these moving averages, the 322, the 223 exponential, and we could get a rejection from those, pushing us down to fill out some of this wick or push even lower to that 14K range. Bitcoin being in its 14-year anniversary, very important, very important. Got to be able to pay attention to this. It's something we've been preaching here for over a year. Pay attention to the 21st, 22nd of the month, the new moon, the full moon, the numbers, the horizontal trading ranges of support and resistance we talked about in our last video around remember the 5th of November. If we could not break this 21,500 range, that 215, we knew what to look out for. And then that lunar eclipse just bringing us down in the markets to a total now of a full 77% correction. So very important. We know this 77 has been highly powerful. The next 77 date anniversary is going to be the 24 or 77 date I'm sorry, you guys. The next 77 date numerology day is going to be Thanksgiving. So that's going to be a very important day, being a day that leaves 37 days left in the year, being the 3 7s, 7 plus 7 plus 7, or this 3 7s in the jackpot in the casino. This is a day that adds up to 14 in numerology, and we know Bitcoin just turned 14, so it's so fascinating. It's so fixed. Pay attention to Thanksgiving. It's going to be pretty amazing to watch. All right. I know a lot of people have been getting lost, distracted, broken, and confused around this Sam Bankman-Fried or French fried or whatever you want to call them nonsense, just this narrative, and are wanting to blame a lot of the downtrend in the market on this nonsense. And this is something we prepare you to do, is to not follow these rituals and these distractions. And I'm going to be breaking this down with technical analysis and numerology and gematria, and I want to show you how fixed this is. It's all predetermined and coded into the market ahead of time, and we can see on this FTX token that came in around the lunar eclipse, just like Luna's did, this sell-off, and we go to November 9th, we see FTT lost 71%, okay? And that's so very exoteric and connected by the numbers on 11/9, okay? 9/11, we know what happened on 9/11. The towers come down. I've been preparing you for some kind of event around the markets for this day, 11/9. We know Terra Luna hit $119 top. That ties us into some very powerful exo and exoteric things like the all-seeing eye of providence, or the oldest known term for the Messiah, on the back of your dollar bill. Some people tie it to the Illuminati, etc. It ties us into the motherboard that we all live on, the 119. So very important that we see this. Undeniable, you guys. Again, Terra Luna, right before the lunar eclipse, and I had 100% sell-off, hit $119. So very esoteric, and we saw this sell-off come in on 11/9, down 71% for this FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried French fried guy and its token and exchange. So not surprising. If we continue to look at that even further and we go to see the low that came in, it was down 17% that day to a low of $1.70, so 75 cents. So not surprising. The 17 again, we fell down 71% on 11/9, 1771, as above so below. So pay attention. This is going to make a lot of sense in just a second. A human being cannot possibly coordinate this. So let me show you how by the code it's all connected. FTX is simply giving us 17 in Chaldean. The CEO's name is Samuel, giving us, I spelled that wrong, giving us 17 right there. Not surprising. And this always ties us back into the Talmud, you guys. Giving us that same 71 and 17 that we were just talking about. And that's not surprising. The Talmudic Jews help run the show, okay? That 37 that we were just talking about being the 3 7s. And it also ties us into something else that's very interesting, which is Kabbalah, which is Kabbalistic black magic. There's a book called the Kabbalah. Just read it, etc. It's very important, giving us that same 17 in Chaldean. This is very, very important with their connections to Judaism and Jewish mysticism. 17 is the 7th prime number, okay? The number 7 is something we've been talking about, leaving the 7-year sabbatical cycle we just exited out of. This might be the most important number in our realm. Okay, so very important. The 17th prime number is 59, which is the 17th prime number in the year of the tiger. So very important. We've shared this with you all. We're in the year of the tiger, giving us that same 59. So very important. That 59 tying us into 17. So undeniable how important these connections are. As to why we see this even in the charts play out very similar as the Terra Luna. Now, one thing to reiterate, this fell 100%, okay? And if we look at FTX, it only fell down to $1 so far, to the low right now of $1.47 now. So it could still fall another possibly 99 cents to 0 cents like Terra Luna did. So stay away from this. Some people were talking about how, well, John, I was able to get into Terra Luna and make money. I don't care what you did. It may not be popular for me to say that, but say I bought some up here and made some money up here. I don't care what you trade, and that's not me being negative. You know how many people had way too much of this portfolio and these shit coins before they literally fell down a total of 100% basically, because they weren't able to trade it and take advantage of the dips and the euphoric rallies because they were sold on some YouTube theory or Twitter theory that it was going to the moon. We got to build our thesis and pay attention to what's going on. We just need to watch ourselves. This is not the year, I've told you this, to play around with our money. They're going to throw narratives and throw people as scapegoats, and none of that matters. All that matters is what you do and how you respond to this. So pay attention and build a thesis. All this can get worse, especially for FTX and FTT. There are so many more strings for these apex predators to pull, and we could still see this around other cryptocurrencies by the dozens. So it's very important that we pay attention and just continue to build our investment thesis moving forward. So let's talk a little bit about Ethereum and XRP. Something we've also talked about for quite some time. Just want to bring those up as well. Not much to go over for real. We know we fell through our support ranges of this 181. We hit our golden ratio of 161. Boom. The golden ratio of 5. So very important. This is kind of what we dedicated this video to. So I've been able to accumulate at this 16,100 range a couple of times. When we were opening up and seeing Bitcoin at this 15,000 range, we decided to throw a little bit in case that was the low and we don't go to 14K. We know we're in the year of the tiger. Tiger equals 15. We prepared you all for this $15,000 range as well this year. So not surprising. But just paying attention to this. And so let's talk about Ethereum though. This chart we've been looking at, we fell back down to this 1073 range recently. We know Vitalik Buterin gives us that 173 and just been able to come up and not really gain support of this psychological 1250 range that we prepared you all for quite some time now. So still holding higher lows in structure over time, but still in a downtrend. We still got a possibility of swiping into these ranges again, accumulation as well, or possibly swiping back down to under 1,000 to eat up this wick back here. But if ETH over the new moon, if it comes back into the top of this range and gets rejection from this trend line, this 1250 or one of these moving averages at 13, possibly maybe 1400. This horizontal 1443, 144,000 chosen exoteric range setting a lower low. This wouldn't be surprising before coming back down. ETH is looking pretty amazing compared to a lot of other cryptocurrencies. It hasn't broken low below the low structures of June like Bitcoin, like we were just talking about. So, but is it gonna lag? Could we still see this come down and bring another leg to the downside? Who knows? Anything can happen. We'll just have to continue to see how this plays out. Now let's talk about XRP. We know that it has been doing exactly what we've prepared you all for, and we'll zoom out so you can get a better view of this. We've just been able to reaccumulate multiple times at this 322 skull and bones range, and we've been able to get and gain support back above this 36 range, but we're getting rejected from this 39-38 cent range. So this thing's just zigzagging everywhere and just continuing to set lower lows, lower highs over time. So unless we can get back above this 38, 39, 40, 41 cent range, or break above this trend line at 43 cents, that today leaves 43 days left in the year. The 14th prime number, XRP, equals 14. Bitcoin just turned 14 years old. Very symbolic. Even though this looks like a nice bullish W pattern breakout, we're getting rejected and setting lower highs. So if we fail to hold support, we're gonna possibly come right back down, and that'd be totally normal. To just start forming a base and a bottoming structure, especially just like a year-long possible bottoming structure. So breaking 40-41 cents, that would be a much more intelligent decision. Holding support above these exponential moving averages, that would be bullish. But we still got to break this multiple month trend line. So 42-43 cents, that would just be another lower high, nothing to get excited about. If we get rejection, we want to de-risk if we can't hold support of these ranges to get ready to accumulate again, possibly all the way down to 27 to 24. X is the 24th letter in the alphabet, down to that 23-22 cent range. So stay calm, build your investment thesis. Don't get caught up in all the nonsense about the Ripple Swell event, the settlement, Gary Gensler. All that shit's irrelevant. Get that out of your head. Focus what we've been sharing with you. We literally told you we get these crown Bart Simpson distributional top heads for XRP around 40 days. It was 43 days, and we sold down. So, not surprising. Play the game here. Don't let the game play you. Follow the cycles around the new moon. Buy the full moons. De-risk the new moons, etc. All these narratives are to keep you getting played by the game. This is not easy to swallow, I know, but the truth will set you free, and that's all I'm here to do. Stay diligent and stay accumulating the lows and de-risking the euphoric highs. It's something we gotta do. Definitely gotta pay attention to it. And I know a lot of people have been mad at me and are upset with me about how I've been de-risking and selling my XRP, and even when I was talking about doing it last year when it was $1.40, $1.50, all the way up to $1.86. I didn't hit the high of $1.96. But people have been screaming that I was a fool. I de-risked to protect my family, to protect my investment thesis, so I can accumulate these lows and then de-risk the euphoric rallies and then accumulate again. So, I've got an average when I first bought in of 11 to 17 cents for XRP. And I was excited when we watched XRP plummet to the downside in December of 2020 on the summer solstice, and the SEC lawsuit hit, and I was screaming buy XRP. and I bought a lot of it, and I increased my position in it, and then I de-risked over a time period again. So learn how to trade these markets so you can build yourself wealth for generations to come, you know? So anyways, that's all on video. In the past, go back and watch. You can see this. Attack, build a thesis, use the craft and skill to get you to your outcome. And a lot of people don't like these red pills and these truths that I share, but they crucifies me, especially the XRP army. They're like really some negative people sometimes, and that's when I learned what the XRP army and cult was really about. And it's about this hodl till you die mindset, even to the point to where you're dead and in your casket and in the ground, and your ledger and wallet still has XRP on it, and you can't do nothing with it, as if that's some grandiose thing to live for. And I just started stepping away from that community, and I started exposing them as being a cult, and I told them, you don't get it. The reason you make investments is to eventually take profits and then accumulate again over time and do that same thing, rinse, repeat. And I have the TA and the videos and documents to prove this over time. And I'm willing to take your shots that you're throwing at me over time to troll you in the process, to prove you're that type of parasitic energy that I don't want in my community here at the Daily Candle Close News. And that's a big risk. It's not popular, I know, for me, to talk about this huge community like that. And I'm not talking shit, I'm just being honest. I'm not trolling you if you're an XRP Army fan. I've got charts to back up what I'm saying. I'm not making it all up. I've got numbers, facts, figures, logic, common sense for you to understand. And it's not easy because I share gematria, numerology, and astrology, and people are like, who the fuck talks about that when it comes to finance and cryptocurrency? But it's how this market was designed, pre-programmed to an algorithmic code for us to expose and educate here. And I'm trying to say everything with what I'm saying with zero brag. It's just to educate a side of humanity that I think we need to evolve from, especially if we're ones that have been guilty of acting like this in the past. And I've talked not only about the XRP army, but the hex community, and the Chainlink Marines, and the Shiba Inu clowns, and the Ethereum enthusiast. And if you see yourself acting and getting caught in these cults, step away, build a thesis, develop your skill and craft, and take advantage of opportunities that are not often. We're boring more than we're euphoric. Remember that. Cryptos go, and all stocks go three ways: up, down, sideways, and they only do two euphorically, and that's up and down. Most of the time we're sideways. So I'm trying to teach you how to build positions and things when it's not sexy, and sell it when it's sexy, and accumulate when it's not sexy. And that's what I've done with this asset, which is why it's my biggest holding now. And so don't listen to anybody else. Listen to you. That's the greatest decision I've ever made. That actually was what set me up to take care of things in my life and become the greatest person and the president of my own reality. So the biggest thing I can say is take care of yourself. These things aren't Hail Mary plays that I share. These are things that I'm actually doing. And fast forward, here I am. I've got people coming over and telling me, thank you for sharing this enlightenment with me, and this truth around these markets with me, because they're able to de-risk and short the market around this last lunar eclipse and make multiple thousands of dollars. And they're like, you're actually teaching us how to fish and figure this out on our own. And it's like, yeah, that's what I've been saying since day one, but you get mad because I tell you XRP is not going to go to 589 or 10,000 overnight. Like, my number one upside target for XRP was $7 to $8, maybe 14, 15, and that was if we entered price discovery, and I shared that in my exit strategy for $8. It was the quickest, fastest, easiest way to buy something that would prepare you to sell your XRP or your cryptocurrencies that I shared in that exit strategy months ago to be able to buy all these lows now. So when will people learn? I hope that you've learned, and I hope that you've been able to continue to just step outside the box and build your investment thesis and not follow all the narratives, because people, they want me to, please sir, can you talk about my Dogecoin, sir? And it's like, no, I won't do that. I'll talk about what I feel is relevant at the time, and I shared a Dogecoin video when it was at 72 cents, when it had utility, and I told people to de-risk and get ready to buy other assets over time at lower prices. And it was necessary then. You know me. Here's the thing though. I'll admit that, I make mistakes. But you know how many emails and messages I've received over the last year from people reaching out to me that they've made $13,000+ $7,000, a couple thousand, just so much money on short trades and trades because of my work, And again, that's not here for me to brag and boast, but I've been able to take and combine things in a more outside the box way, and you know how real I am, and I give it to you speaking my truths. I could be sitting here boasting and bragging about how we made this recent call, we got the eclipse, right? I don't want to do that shit. What I really care about is teaching you a craft and skill that you can learn on your own, and not talk about crypto all the time. Share my truths and more esoteric connections to how we can make this better. This whole community, not just about crypto, but mindset, life, manifestation, everything. It's not just about predictions and calls here. I don't want to come out and do that. That doesn't get me off. Especially to brag about it. What really has meaning to me and what gets me off, what has value to me, is us living and developing and evolving, defining our process, and becoming more in tune with our purpose, our higher self. Genesis 1:26-27 says we were made in the image of the gods, of the Elohim, of the gods, of the creator, the architect. Therefore we are gods. With amnesia. Talk about a selfie. I speak to God, the cosmos, my higher self every day. Talk about my bestie, and that's what I want to teach others. I don't want them to get lost in Twitter and the cryptocurrency nonsense. I want this to be an escape from that. And the most important question that was asked to me recently was, John, how do you protect your soul? And it's like, bam, that's my next message. First things first, you got to realize you are a soul. You are the soul. You are spirit, the sun. You are an extension of source. You are a vital organ of source. Without you, source doesn't exist. So first, you got to be aware of what you are, who you are, and from there, you can protect it. And the easiest way to protect your soul is to remind yourself that there's a lot of stimuli in this matrix. Crutches, vices, addictions. And we got to break those. We got to be a master of stimulus and stimuli. We got to know when the game is playing us instead of the other way around. Are we playing the game, or is the game playing us? Is your attention and energy going to fulfill your purpose, or are you going to fulfill someone else's purpose with your attention and energy? Are you being used as a resource to be led to gold, or are you going to turn lead into gold for yourself? Are you making your dream come true or someone else's? So everything you take action on based on the thoughts you have and the beliefs you have is how you protect your soul. It's how you protect your prana, your merkaba, your energy, your life force. It's how you protect you. What are you here to do? Are you here to be a servant, a follower, a consumer? Or are you here to be a leader? Are you here to be a subject, or are you here to be an architect? and fulfill your purpose? Are you here to build shit and be a master mason? Or are you here to have shit built for you? What are you here to do? Be honest with yourself. Nobody's better than anybody. Throw all that nonsense away, that good, evil, black, white. Soul doesn't have that left and right duality consciousness bullshit. Okay? Soul is literally unity consciousness. One verse, one song, one sound, universe. Some people say the mind is the all. They learned this from a book called The Kabbalion. I'm here to say your soul is all. Your soul is source. And that is you. And you versus you is how we started this video out. Mind, body, and soul in a brain-heart coherence, all together as one unity. Okay? So protect your soul. So I think I'm going to leave this video here. I certainly hope you all enjoyed it. It was just a way to come back out and get touched back in on some things that I've seen going on in the cryptocurrency market, to talk about a little bit of cryptocurrency and what we could potentially see moving into Thanksgiving, where we've seen be a volatile time period in the past with a sharp push to the downside with a B-bottom recovery out. December bringing the same thing. January as well. So what could we expect over the next few months? Could it bring a boring, sideways, opportunistic time period to accumulate the bear traps and sell the bull traps along the way like we've been teaching you? So we'll end this video here. Take care, God bless, and much love, pioneers. We'll see you in the next one. Pioneers rise, build your fortress, and build your legacies. Stop falling for all the nonsense around the Sam Bankman-Fried French fried guy and all these other narratives that are bound to come, and start learning how to trade these markets and accumulate the highs and sell the lows. Not financial advice. Take care, and God bless.